Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another feature match commentary on the channel today. So this is going to be the top 16 of my online Discord tournament, and on screen for you guys right now, you can see the top 16 deck breakdown, as well as the players who actually managed to make it there. So congrats to these 16, and you can see that the most represented deck in Top Cut right now is Drytron, with a 5 out of 7 conversion rate, so definitely super respectable there. We also got Earth Machines, which also performed quite admirably, and then a bunch of one-of decks. So you can see the expected one-ofs being Virtual World, Tri-Brigade Lusk, as well as Dragon Link make it there. But then some interesting rogue decks as well. We saw Dogmatica Mutant, as well as Mathmech in some of the feature matches, and we have other interesting things like Paleozoic Frogs and Adamantipated Frankids. The entire gambit is being represented here, so super exciting to see. And I will be showcasing off every single one of the top 16 matches, as well as moving into the rest of the top cut. I won't be omitting anything, so I will be showcasing the bracket as well at the beginning of each of these rounds, so you can just kind of follow along as we progress here. So this is going to be our first match between Salty Player, aka Agent Shadow on Virtual World, versus Hands to Midnight on Drytron. If you guys do want to play in the next tournament, go ahead and check out the link to the Discord server in the description box below as usual, but let's go ahead and get started here without any further ado. So it looks like Virtual World didn't win the RPS here. The RPS is quite important, but he's going to choose to go first, not really anything too shocking. The opening hand for Virtual World going first is going to be Call by the Grave, Kowloon, Gamma, Lala, and Yan Yan. So it's not ideal opening Lala as like the only Virtual World hand effect, but it's good enough to combo for sure, especially with Kowloon here. And then the opening hand for Drytron going second is going to be Dawn Knight, Gamma, Preparation of Rites, Zeta, and Cyber Angel Ben 10. So no hand traps in this hand. Has quite a lot of gas, but it's going to be hard to play against VFD if that is going to be the case, which it most certainly will be. So they're going to start with a copy of Kowloon here. That's going to place Chuche face up from deck. And then follow that up with a copy of Lao Lao. That's going to target Chuche. And then send a copy of Qinglong to summon itself to the field. And from here, they're going to banish Qinglong to grab a stage for Lulu, and then that's going to pitch the Gamma from hand. Then they're going to activate Lulu, that's going to send Qinglong to search Gigi, so targeting the Chuche there, summoning itself as well. Next up, they're going to normal summon the Yan Yan, and then Synchro 9 for a copy of Shen Shen. And then activate Gigi's hand effect, that's going to summon itself by sending Chuche. And then Yan triggers in the graveyard as well. And then here, they're going to overlay for a copy of Gossip Shadow, and then activate Chuche to reduce the level of Shen Shen by 3, making it a 6 so they can go to Cloud Castle and bring back the Shen Shen and make the VFD itself. So even though the hand wasn't necessarily the most ideal in terms of its sequencing, definitely works as well, considering there's no hand traps. So going to set Call by the Grave, and then add back Lulu off Gigi in the end phase, and then that is going to be the end of game 1. That is Virtual World in a nutshell. Please Konami ban VFD this week, thank you. So, moving to game 2, we're going to see Drytron go first. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, definitely be sure to like it and subscribe if you're new here and want to see more commentaries similar to this style. But the opening hand for Drytron going first this time around is going to be Delta, Lancia, Ben 10, Emergency, and Gamma. So, this hand's really good. Has everything you pretty much want. Not really much to say here. And then the opening hand for Virtual World going second is going to be Drone Lockbird, Lao Ash Blossom, Qinglong, and a Psychic Soldier that rides into battle against the security forces on Currents of Lightning using an autonomic amplifier called Psyframe. So, 2 hand traps and kind of similar hand to last time, although Qinglong is significantly worse than Kowloon to open in this kind of scenario. But regardless, we're going to see Drytron activate Cyber Emergency. He was running into issues with, looks like the mouse there. But Emergency going to add a copy of Alpha to hand, and then going to drop Drone Resolution. That is going to hurt quite substantially. We'll see what the end board is going to be here. So we're going to activate Alpha, tribute Gamma, summon itself to the field, and then Gamma, tribute Alpha, summon itself as well as the Alpha. Could have just done Gamma, tribute Alpha, but I mean, this works too. Going to go for the Kikinagashi Fucho, and then pass. So yeah, really not much to be done against Droll. Has to hope that the Lancia gets there. The top deck is going to be Nibiru for Virtual World, which is just another hand trap, so not really going to accelerate this game state here. Samurai Fade is going to activate Lancia, trying to play around potential pots here, being Prosperity and potentially Desires as well. Luckily, he drew the Driver instead of Gamma, otherwise it would have just been a major punish. But going to activate Qinglong, that's going to allow the Lala to target it, sending Xuan Wu, summon itself, and then pass. Yeah, not much to do here. The top deck is going to be Drytron Nova, which is definitely pretty good. So he has to play against Ash and Nibiru. So main phase is going to activate the Fujo effect just to get the Drytrons back into the graveyard. And then activate Nova, that's going to attempt to summon from deck a copy of Zeta. And then Alpha going to tribute Ben 10, going to summon itself. and then going to search for Natasha, and then Benten going to activate, going to grab a search for Ultimateness. And then from here, going to link those two away for a copy of Union Carrier. Carrier effect going to equip to itself a copy of Alpha. Zeta going to tribute Natasha, and then that's going to be Ashed. Yeah, pretty good time to Ash, because he searched Natasha rather than another Benten or something like Manju, because that's normally the backup strat. And there's only one unknown card in the hand for Drytron, being Delta. So I think it was a pretty good gamble to cut off the ritual spell Axis, since it was clear that by going Union Carrier, he was kind of banking on the Meteonus kind of being searched there. So this is a pretty strong Ash for sure. I definitely think that being able to have Manju in circulation is a very strong backup plan for when this kind of stuff happens. But Gamma is going to tribute away Herald of Ultimateness. That's going to summon itself, and then the Zeta back. And then going to overlay for a copy of Assembled Nightingale. And then going to go to Battle Phase, attack for 800 points of damage. And then main phase 2, going to make Downard. And then going to make Zeus. And then at the end of main phase 2, we're going to see Nibiru activated. Chooses not to chain the Zeus, obviously, because you don't want to send Qinglong here. Which is why also he waited for the Zeus to come down to try and see if he would actually use it. But not going to be the case here. And then going to pass turn. The top deck is going to be Desires. That is a very strong top deck. So pretty much any name is going to win the game here for Virtual World. So going to banish 10 and then draw Qinglong Lulu. That definitely is good enough. So going to activate Lulu and then target the Qinglong. That's going to send Chuche to add Gigi. And from here, it's basically just a hop, skip, and a jump to the end of the game. Gigi on Lulu, that's going to send Qinglong, summon itself. And then that is going to be the end of the match. So Virtual World taking this one 2-0, actually. So the hand was Delta. And yeah, I think the game one was kind of, it kind of just went the way it would have. No hand traps against VW. That's how it's going to go. I think game 2 could have maybe been played a little bit differently. The turn 1 Droll obviously was not very favorable. But I think here in turn 2, there's definitely ways to make sure that like an Ash on the Zeta there wouldn't have been as detrimental as it was. I think Natasha could have been searched at a potential later point. Maybe it wasn't even needed actually for Drytron to close out the game here. All things considered. So I think there were definitely ways to maybe mitigate that, to get the Ultimateness on board perhaps as well before the Nibiru was able to fire. So I do think that Drytron had a chance to win this game in particular. But nonetheless, well played to Virtual World for sure. I think that this was kind of just how VW versus Drytron can go sometimes. But that's going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me with the links in the description box as usual. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.